Joining me on the line right now, it's time for the big fat idea. Andrew Rulin, Integrated Wealth Management. Andrew, let me just start by saying thank you so much for your sponsorship of Special Olympics. Fabulous success, but it's thanks to people like yourself who making many other areas too, but in this particular case, contribution to so many deserving people. So my thanks.
My pleasure. It's a fantastic cause, Mike.
So let's start. What's your big fat idea?
Big fat idea is defense on one hand and patience on the other. So it sounds a little bit like a lawyer maybe, but basically we want to look at being very defensive on the U.S. stock side of things, and we want to be patient when it comes to the energy sector. And both of them have a connection to U.S. politics, specifically Trump.
Yeah, let's go into that a little bit more because energy is fascinating. We're sort of thinking that we got one more dip here in energy, but that might be a major buying, as you say, patience, major buying opportunity. And so elaborate a bit on that, and then I'm going to come back and ask you a bit about the U.S. defensive side.
Sure. A couple months ago, we connected up with Joseph Schachter from the Schachter Energy Report and have engaged with them for using some of their analysis and research in the management of the active component of our portfolios. And what he told me is that he sees that this bounce from $40 a barrel, the current little bounce that we have is after about a $10 drop, and that it's really just kind of a short covering bounce, and that he's expecting a breach of $40 probably sometime in July. And so he's certainly advocating an attitude of patience before beginning to accumulate any significant positions on the energy side.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Obviously, as Canadians, we're following it closely. You're out of Calgary with Integrated Wealth Management, so you're really following it closely. Let me get to the defensive side for a sec, though.
To the which side, sorry?
The defensive side at the U.S., you're saying.
The defensive side. Well, when it comes to U.S. stocks, of course, we've had a major run-up since the quote-unquote surprise election results in the White House. But more recently, we've had a Hindenburg omen. The Dow has a weekly RSI, a relative strength index of about 70 right now. Valuations are getting pretty stretched, and this past week we started to see some shots across the bow, like Tuesday and Thursday, especially in terms of the intraday declines becoming a little bit more serious. And with our Socrates test program, we got a sell signal on the Dow a little bit earlier this week, and we took our short positions off. We took our long Dow positions on, and on Thursday added a short Dow position.
Yeah, so let me say, somebody comes into you, Andrew, at Integrated Wealth and says, what kind of advice are you giving right now? I mean, let's drill down a little bit. So you look at their portfolio, and then what? You've only got, and isn't this wonderful? You got about a minute to tell me a big thing like that.
The way we manage money is with what I would refer to as kind of a core and explore type of approach, where we have the solid dividend-paying stocks, corporate bonds, and preferred shares, and some alternatives, high-yielding alternatives, to bring up the yield. And then we have more of an active component, what we call the explore component. And right now, that explore component is defensive on U.S. stocks. And again, remaining quite patient on the energy side, and same thing on the precious metal side of things. So there will come a time when we want to be adding back significant exposure into those areas. But right now, according to the research that we have from Socrates, from Bob Hoy, and from Joseph Schachter and some other sources, the time just isn't yet right now.
Well, as I say, it's you look at that manipulation, just talking with Mike Levy about that at central banks, and as you say, the political environment. My goodness, I bet it keeps you busy, but it's tough for the average person, and I appreciate you finding time for us today to share your insights with them.
No problem. Thank you, and Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day. Absolutely. Andrew Rulin, Integrated Wealth Management in Calgary. Integrated Wealth Management in Calgary.